Good day to you, my friends. I'm Kenator, and I just got to play Jumpship with the developers at Keepsake Games. And now I'm going to share with you everything I've learned and then some. So what is Jumpship? Its Steam description simply calls it a mission-based co-op FPS, but it's far more than that in my opinion, as the FPS portion of the game is just part of the complete package. What we have here is a seamless mix of ship-based gameplay, first-person shooter, puzzle elements, and a sprinkle of resource and risk management. Player agency and choice is at the forefront of this game, and this could be everything from the weapon you choose to use, or the way you tackle a play area, or the jump route you take through a mission. There's no wrong way to play it. You can take your time, avoid confrontation where you can, or go in guns blazing like the trigger-happy browncoat you truly are. Now before we jump into anything here, everything you see is in a pre-alpha state, with varying levels of completion, from this awesome spaceship to this sign.
You have been warned.
That said, I have found the version that I had access to was quite polished for the most part, which is an awesome sign for how close early access could be, but more on that a bit later. So to kick us off, the setting for this game is a virus has swept through the galaxy, corrupting and taking over humanity's own machines and ships, pushing us to the brink. Now with just pockets of survivors out on the galactic rim. The virus seems to be most concentrated in the centre of the galaxy, but our journey starts out on said galactic edge, crashed after being shot down by a corrupted ship. But after managing to find and repair another downed ship, you make your way back to your hideout and begin your push back against the corruption. The home base is a neat little place tucked away. Maybe it was an old research station or a mining outpost, but now it's your refuge. And here you will find a shooting range, which will let you practice with not only each of the four main weapons and your Omnitools blaster mode, but the different versions of each weapon too. There's a guy that you can buy new suit variations as well as customize the look of your suit. You have this engineering lady who will help you fix up new tech for your ship, as well as offering customization for it in both the equipment you can install and the paint you can apply. And that's not just outside either, that's inside too. The screen nearby will list your current goals either for new tech or the main story missions. And speaking of missions, the nearby mission table is where you can select a variety across the various areas that the game has to offer. There's also some fun to be had here between missions, with a small football pitch set up for some 1v1 or 2v2 footy. That's soccer for you Americans. There's a jukebox that was currently non-operational in this build. And there's also a few areas to kick back and have a beer with your friends after a well-fought loot-filled mission. Now back to those missions. While not massive in the selection, this will change later. But these missions, they don't just give you a choice of the main objective, they also give you an estimated length and difficulty. And I think this is a really good feature, as we've all had that point where a mission ended up taking way longer than you thought it might take initially in many other games. And this was also one of the things I quizzed the devs on, and their answer really did surprise me. A lot of the dev time has been setting up a lot of tooling and, importantly, assets and gameplay systems so that they can build out a lot of new handcrafted missions and zones to play in. And they're aiming for a wide and varied selection of missions and maps. Each mission itself is built up with multiple jump points and have varying overall difficulty and a specific end goal in mind. The build I was playing showed anywhere between 1 and 5 jump points per mission, but you don't get to know the layout of these points until you've started the mission. Once started though, it does become similar to FTL. You can choose your route, and with it the level of risk you want to take on while you collect resources, ship weapons and gear. Each jump requires you to take out a jump inhibitor before moving on to the next zone. Sometimes these can be protected. Sometimes there's other loot or materia to be gained in the area, or ships to destroy for any secondary quests you might have picked up back at the base. With each jump point, it could be fully space orientated, some could be nearly all on foot and requires landing the ship as you raid an installation or station, or some could just be a mix of both. And some of those on foot sections can contain different challenges as well, and these seem to take inspiration from Helldivers' points of interests. where you have to load a system with batteries, for example, or hold an area while activating buttons. These help add some challenge or tension to a mission, which gives a nice contrast to the often relaxing ship flying moments, at least when you're not in combat. Throughout the whole mission though, there is a responsive AI games director manipulating things in the background to hit a desired difficulty. If things are taking too long or you're not doing too well, it can scale back encounters. Likewise, if you're doing great and smashing through a level, you can expect more enemies to warp in and other difficulties to pop up to keep you on your toes. After smashing through a mission, I saw this firsthand. I was drooling over all the loot I had just got and going through what I had picked up when more ships just warped in to take me on. And the shock from being in a false sense of security after clearing out the map got the old adrenaline going, especially after a fire broke out on the ship as well. After the mission is complete or abandoned, you will head back to the home base, where you can either pick a new mission or be rewarded if you were successful. Now to give you guys a tour of the ship that was available, the layout is both elegantly simple and yet can still all go out of the window in the panic of combat, especially when you're still learning where everything is. But starting at the brains of the ship, the bridge. Here we have 2 seats for the crew next to the main pilot seat in the middle, and there's a gunner seat at the back for the extra weapons. On each side of the bridge we have scanner stations to help identify points and ships on the map, and next to them a really fun and fast ship escape route, taking a page out of Sea of Thieves gameplay and letting the player not only see the outside of the ship like a periscope, but also launch themselves in that specific direction. But you can also use it to quickly pop outside the ship too if you need to get to something on the hull. The big table in the middle is your mission map showing you the jump route to the goal, and it's up to you how much threat level you want to face or which items or material you want to pick up along the way. At the back of the bridge we have stairs that go down a level on either side and a shelf unit, and you can put anything on these that you can pick up, be it guns, stims, repair kits, whatever you want. And you'll see plenty of these all over the ship in different areas. Out the rear door we have stairs up to the airlocks on each side of the ship, with 2 more people cannons too, and the stairs down into the engine room. The engine room has room for 2 upgrades on one side, we have the engines themselves and the reactor core in the middle, and on the other side we have the power grid pinboard. And this acts like a puzzle minigame. All of your ship equipment once installed will appear here on the right, and it's up to you to choose where on this grid it goes. And should you get a better power core, you'll get more green space to install more things. And this stuff comes in all sorts of sizes too, from long thin strips to T and C shapes. You'll also find that some enhanced bits of gear will sometimes have reduced shape size as part of their benefit, allowing you to power more things at once. If you're doing one of the longer mission runs, you can end up having a good deal more equipment than you can power, but you can still have it all installed on the ship. And you can have one of your crew or yourself switch things around on the fly. For instance, you could take the jump drive offline to power more weapons for a while, and then switch back when the sector is complete and you want to jump out. The choice is yours. Heading forwards and in the centre of the ship is the AI core. This is the place where you will feed repair kits that the AI can use to regenerate the hull of the ship. We also have another scanner on the other side too, and now heading down under the bridge we have the cargo and auxiliary areas of the ship. Mission loot will appear here on this blue square and you can redistribute it around the ship as you wish or just leave it in one place. Anything you don't want or is already scrap can be dumped into this recycler. This will increase your material store on the ship, which acts as a universal material. And you can use this directly on the ship here to create weapons for yourself or build new systems to replace destroyed ones. Heading further forward we have an upgrade station you can slot loot into and crew quarters. I'd also like to point out here that you can close armor paneling on all the windows around the ship, but I don't know if there's a gameplay reason to do this that's been implemented yet. Maybe battle damage can break the windows, but I haven't got that beaten up yet to be able to tell. Continuing around we have the toilet and med station. The toilet also works as a valid hyperspace seat too, so feel free to poop in hyperspace and leave skid marks at faster than light speeds. Heading back to next to the cargo we have the crew hangout space. Here you can get ammo for your guns, you can get a drink at the bar while playing some classic jams on the jukebox. And you can even violate the spirit of every Italian by making the best pineapple pizza the universe has to offer. This space, however, has something more critical than any other system on this ship. It has the Wheel of Fate, finally an in-game way of sorting out any dispute between crew quickly and efficiently. I'd love to see this adapt its colour range to the amount of players present in the game, since you won't always have 4 players, but it's a really fun addition, so hats off to the devs for adding this one. With that, there's only 2 more bits to point out. One is the fire extinguishers dotted around the ship are not just for show. They are indeed used to stop ship fires, both inside and outside the ship. And many of the areas in this ship have these vents. These can serve as a way of getting around fires if someone has misplaced a nearby extinguisher, as well as be a challenging place for a fire to start that's out of view. And let's not forget the outside too, so let's head out down the landing ramp entrance and I will show you that the ship is covered with these grapple points. And these help you get back to the ship very quickly, and is especially useful in zero-G space. While you're out here, you can install new weapons on the ship, and we have space for new cannons on the top side right next to either of the airlocks. There's a neat walkway that goes around the outside of the ship that you automatically stick to, but this can be quite disorientating to use if the ship is also in motion, but quickly lets you switch to the underside of the ship where the pilot weapons can be found, should you find other weapons to swap them for. Thankfully, the 2 important places for interaction are right by the airlocks. First is the ship materia collector. Sometimes when you destroy enemy ships or find certain map points, you will have these small materia clouds. Your ship can scoop these up and you can claim that here. And then to transfer this or anything else quickly inside, you can dump it into this loot chute, which will take it straight to the storage area. And this is on both sides of the ship, but only on the top side, so park your ship accordingly. Progression in this game will come from mostly unlocking new sectors of space, as well as equipment that can be installed by default. Currently, you don't keep any equipment from each run, be it new or upgraded ship components, or guns that you find for your character to use. I quizzed the devs on this one too, and they have a few options they want to explore internally, from letting you unlock any found equipment to be installed as standard, to having a limited storage where you can keep a few items from your run for the next run. There are also a few other ships that you can purchase too, but the devs are still in progress making these, and they are not ready to be shown yet. But the devs tell me they really want to make each ship unique, sometimes in its benefits, sometimes in trade-offs that may apply to it, or just its general role. Either way, I can't wait to see the progress on these. Multiplayer drop-in was also a big conversation I had with the devs too. The feedback they've received so far is that most people don't want to play with the randoms, but they will be including a lobby browser for those that have set their game to public, so you can join other people if none of your friend group is online and you still want to play with others. Otherwise, invites from your friends work as you would expect, and you can send a join request in chat through Steam. Currently this is done at the home base, but the devs are already implementing a feature for you to be able to drop into the game at the next jump, with future plans to be able to join at any time. But what if you're solo? Thankfully the devs are committed to building a fun experience no matter how you want to play, be it solo or group. But solo is tough right now. In my testing of playing solo, it's still fun, but you do lose out on extra firepower from the gunner seat, and you can't fight ship fires mid-battle, and looting does take a lot longer since there's a lot less people to carry stuff. To tackle some of these problems, the devs are going to take a little bit of inspiration from Deep Rock Galactic to possibly have a bot or something follow you around. But their main focus right now is on the multiplayer. So when can you expect to get your hands on this? Well, first there is the closed beta testing that you can apply for if you don't mind providing your feedback and bug reports for a possibly wonky alpha state version of the game. You can apply on their website and the link is below. For its early access launch though, the devs are targeting summer this year, but nothing is set in stone specifically, and I would imagine it will depend on how testing and bug hunting goes. But as I said earlier, I did find it quite polished in most areas, with any placeholder stuff being quite obviously placeholder. Now please do go check out the links below for all the info you need on Jumpship. Thanks to Keepsake Games for inviting me to this early preview experience. Like and subscribe if you made it this far for more space and sci-fi gaming content, as well as definitely some more Jumpship content in the future too. And I will see you guys in the next one. Kenator, out.